Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I'm William Heineman. I'm your host. This is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job, well, or they just don't. Guys, this one here is disturbing at best. Boulder City had a murder that they completely and totally bungled up. The experts that were brought in all agree that if a bunch of kindergartners had went out and done the investigation, they would have found more than the professionals at Boulder City did. And this is a joke. How this police force is still in effect just boggles my mind. And you'll see why here in a minute. So let's get this started, guys. Oh, almost forgot, if you would. Please hit my subscribe button, hit like and share. Leave me a comment if you would, and a thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. Okay? Your opinion on me is none of my business. Okay, guys, here we go.
Officers contaminating evidence, failing to document key crime scene information, and withholding details of a homicide investigation. Those are the allegations being made by the victim's family against the Boulder City Police Department. To investigate those allegations, I spent nearly a year poring over hours of body camera footage and dozens of documents, delving into the details behind a twisted narrative that may hide the truth of a murder.
And this doesn't even count the incompetence of the officers that did the videoing. I mean, they have video showing where an officer took this gentleman's money clip out of the guy's pocket that killed him and threw it on the ground. And then they said later, no, that didn't happen. That, he must have dropped it. We just watched it. Yeah, well, you didn't see what you saw. Oh, it's another, you didn't see what you think you saw. You saw what you thought you saw, but it wasn't what we saw that you should have seen. God, we just need to get rid of these scumbag cops. From the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. Canadian border, Mexican border. Get rid of them. Goodbye. See ya. Turn in your badge, turn in your gun. And let's get some real people out there that know what the hell they're doing, because these clowns couldn't find their ass with both hands if they were sitting on them.
May 31st, 2021, Ashley Dingman lost her husband, Scott.
I was devastated.
Her 8-year-old son,
And he's the reason I'm fighting.
lost his dad.
My nephew looked up to my brother like he was like Superman,
Josh Dingman lost his only brother.
I remember just falling to the ground and crying and thinking like there's no way.
And in the months that followed, the Dingman family also lost its faith in law enforcement. Now, 4 years later, why are we?
Yeah, you back to blue, it'll happens to you. Welcome to the party, pal.
Sitting here?
Because the Boulder City Police failed to do their job.
The night of May 31st, 2021, Scott was visiting his longtime friend, John Powell, or J.P. Morgan III. J.P. admitted to police that he shot Scott in the street outside his home, but claimed it was self-defense.
And dealing with the police department, I was just trying to get answers, and nothing made sense.
Thankfully, there's not a lot of this that occurs out in Boulder City.
In trying to sort out what Boulder City police did in her husband's death investigation, Ashley turned for help to longtime friend Wade Seacatz.
That level of investigative work is absolutely unacceptable on any crime.
Seacatz, a retired Henderson police captain, helped her through public records requests to get all the body camera footage and police reports from Boulder City's investigation. They shared it all with 13 Investigates.
I would argue no investigation ever took place.
Here's an expert who just said that more than likely they never even did an investigation because of who this man knew in the police department. Whew. It's not who you know, it's who you blow.
Argue that very early on, a theory was born, and everything that occurred after that was to work towards proving that theory.
Anything you want, dude, anything you want.
The theory that the shooting was self-defense came from J.P. Morgan, who repeatedly reminds all officers he encounters
Everybody knows me.
that he has friends in the Boulder City Police Department.
He's dropping my name in the car right now, like crazy to the detectives.
In particular, Officer Scott Pastore, who admits his familiarity with the suspect.
I know everybody in this house. I'm saying on camera so everybody knows that I'm, you know, I got his girlfriend calling me,
So-
the dog knows me.
JP's claim of self-defense conflicts with reports from a neighbor who called 911 after witnessing the shooting.
911, the address of the emergency.
Near Pueblo. Oh, God.
Where on Pueblo?
Somebody just got shot.
Did you see who did it?
I did. I saw everything.
Where did the person who did the shooting, where'd they go?
Went to the house. I'm afraid the man, he still has his gun.
The police report says the witness saw the victim walking away from the shooter, and that once the shooter closed the distance on the victim, he saw several muzzle flashes. He told police he witnessed what he believed was a murder, but investigators ultimately believed JP's story,
He started shooting at me.
that he shot Scott in self-defense. JP was never charged, and the case was closed.
Right there, it's a money clip.
You mean to tell me that just because you know the cops, you can get away with murder in Boulder? Wow.
Wallet.
Something brother Josh, who serves in the U.S. Navy, can't understand.
I served my country. I served my country to protect citizens of the United States, and I took an oath, just like these police officers took an oath to protect the citizens of Boulder City, and they just did not do their job. I don't understand how there's so much clear evidence of what really happened, and they're just ignoring it.
Let's walk through the evidence, starting with the moment police officers first encounter the suspect.
Where's the person?
In Officer Armando Salazar's body camera footage, you can see JP with his phone to his ear, standing in the street far away from Scott's body. But later that night, Salazar told Detective Brett Wybrew,
when I arrived, it looked like he was checking on him.
again, that's not what Salazar's body camera video shows.
So we have another lying cop? Oh, please say it's not so.
The person! So can I tell him I was one? I've got one down with what appears to be some type of a gunshot wound in the middle of the street. Did you do the shooting? Who did the shooting?
I did.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground right now! I've got the suspect as well. Where's the gun?
Officer Kenny Calzada appears next and starts searching JP as he lays on the ground.
Turn to your side. I got nothing.
What happens next is key, says Jamie Borden, a retired Henderson police sergeant who founded the company Critical Incident Review, where he now serves as an investigator and instructor, often testifying in court cases across the country as an expert witness.
Hindsight review and analysis of cases, that's what I do as an expert.
Ashley Dingman hired Borden to review Scott's case.
The first thing I do is look at video.
Among other factors, he zeroed in on this. While searching JP's pockets, Officer Calzada pulls out a metal wallet. The police report claims the wallet was found in the road about 10 feet from Scott's body, but as you just saw on the body camera video, the wallet is in the road because Officer Calzada tossed it there after taking it out of JP's pocket.
That was Scott Dingman's wallet that was just removed from the suspect's left rear pocket.
The evidence log shows the wallet on the scene did belong to Scott. But
it was never documented as coming from the suspect's pocket.
Why JP had Scott's wallet was never explored or followed up on in any of the police records. Jamie, Wade, and Ashley believe that's important because Ashley told police Scott had withdrawn $1,000 from one of their accounts on the day he was killed, and that she was concerned robbery could have been a motive for his death.
I would like to know why on the video it shows him taking it out of the pocket and putting it on the ground, but yet they say that it was found 10 feet from the body, and that's where it was. You mean they lied again? Oh, come on.
They dismissed me and they ignored me.
In fact, when Ashley brought it up again to Deputy Chief Aaron Johnson in 2023, he sent her this email referring to Morgan being in possession of Dingman's wallet as a new development, which it clearly was not. Even so, Johnson wrote that it had no impact on the case, which would remain closed pending further information.
The deeper I got into this case, the more mistakes I saw.
Body camera footage in July.
But are they mistakes or are they cover up? That's what I want to know. Because it's one thing to make a mistake because you didn't know any better. There's another covered up to try to hide something.
July 2021, nearly 2 months after the shooting, shows Detective Wybrew did question JP about the wallet.
Ashley, she was concerned. Apparently he pulled out $1,000 that day, and that money's unaccounted for. I'm not saying he stole it, but the thing was, you know where he might have spent that. Did he have any money?
All I know is he had coke with him when he got here.
Okay. Was it a bunch, or was it a little bit, or?
He had 2 gram bags on him. 2
gram bags? Okay, did he burn through both those that night?
Yeah.
Or?
JP claims he saw Scott snorting the cocaine.
What was he doing off of?
My counter in my bathroom.
Although the toxicology report shows Scott had more than 3 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system, the same report shows there was no cocaine in his system.
The reason that's important is because nobody followed up on it. As an investigator, you would want to go back and say, why did you lie to me?
The family's concern only deepened when they...
Well, they made another lie? How many times are these cops going to lie and get away with it? Oh, I forgot. They're cops. They have qualified immunity. That's why. Yeah, see, their sovereign citizenship, being above the law and all that, gives them the ability to lie.
They saw what Officer Calzada did after throwing Scott's wallet into the crime scene. When we come back, body camera footage shows Calzada taking what Wade and Jamie say is another key piece of evidence out of JP's pocket. That and more after the break. Stay with us. A claimed self-defense shooting that 2 police experts say doesn't add up after seeing what they call a contaminated crime scene and contradictory body camera footage. Our investigation continues now as we return to the scene of Scott Dingman's 2021 shooting death in Boulder City. After Scott's family saw Officer Kenny Calzada take Scott's wallet from shooting suspect JP Morgan's pocket and throw it into the crime scene, their concern only deepened when they saw this.
Nobody else involved.
Calzada also removes a 9mm bullet from one of JP's pockets, which the officer also places on the ground in the crime scene.
The suspect is laying on his right side, and he places that just in front of his belly. He just rolled him over the top of it.
And that 9 round was stuck to the suspect's stomach?
Around that area, because
Yes.
when I rolled him to the left side, it rolled off.
Right near his body, which tells you what? That supports self-defense. So if somebody pulls out a gun, they wrap around, you shoot them, you're good.
There is nothing in any of the evidence that substantiates that statement.
To add to the confusion, the police report explains that earlier that night, Scott was showing his gun to JP in the kitchen and that Dingman ejected a live round of 9mm ammunition from his gun, which Morgan later placed in his own pocket. The bullet from his pocket was the bullet underneath him in the roadway. It was there because body camera footage shows Calzada put it there, not because of a misfire in the street from Scott's gun, which fed the self-defense theory.
You mean we have a bad cop? Really? Tampering with evidence? Lying? Stealing? Cheating? Wow.
And although the police report says the bullet was from JP's pocket, Jamie says it's a big deal that Detective Wybrew didn't know that. He believes Wybrew reached conclusions without fully considering all the evidence.
The fact that this round was the point of contention in a path forward on a homicide investigation rather than a self-defense investigation was a massive flag for me.
Another flag for Jamie and Wade? What JP told police.
He started shooting at me.
Jamie's review found that forensics tests confirm Scott's 9mm gun was never fired. All of the shell casings from rounds fired at the scene were from JP's .40 caliber weapon.
But nobody ever follows up and says, well, why did you initially tell officers that he was shooting at you?
And there's more. Going back to that July 2021 video from 2 months after the shooting, here's what JP tells Detective Wybrew when asked to recount what happened.
Okay. I fell backwards down onto the ground. He went for his out of his lap.
So you were on the ground when he pulled his...
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then my gun fell. It was like right beside me or right behind me.
Okay.
From where it was in my belt.
Okay.
And then I walked him. I do remember this. I walked him. That's why it was groin to chest.
Okay.
It was because I was coming up with the gun, firing.
Both of the fatal wounds to Scott Dingman, the trajectory does not match.
Scott's autopsy shows the trajectory on both wounds was front to back, slightly right to left, and downward.
Evidence shows that it completely contradicts every explanation offered by the suspect.
Boulder City Police make no mention of that in their report.
I have never seen flaws to this level that have gone unchecked.
Jamie says another unchecked flaw is where police found Scott's gun.
I'm gonna get this gun and secure it real quick.
The police report narrative says Officer Calzada removed Scott's handgun from under his torso and right hand area, but Calzada's body camera footage shows him take the gun from Scott's left hand. That's significant, the family says, because Scott was right-handed and also had an injury to his left hand that prevented him from shooting a gun with it. They have their own theory of how the gun got into Scott's left hand. JP told police he ran inside and put his gun on a shelf after the shooting.
It is plausible that he retrieved Scott Dingman's gun from inside of his home, came back out and put it in his hand.
A police detective raised the same theory the night of the shooting. You might be shocked to hear that JP's home was wired with security cameras he had installed inside and out. Officers on the scene watched some of that video from inside the house the night of the shooting.
There's another mag in here and there's a holster.
So did he or did he not have a holster right here?
He did. Yeah, he did. I saw it. He had a holster in his waistband.
So I wonder in that video if we can see him running out with another gun. Because did he shoot him out there and then run in here, grab his gun and go put it in his hand?
You see him walk out with a gun.
You see, you see the suspect has a gun in his hand. Can you see if the victim, the
suspect has a gun. The victim you can't tell. And then all you see is the suspect come back in, manipulate his weapon here, drop his magazine, come in here, grab his phone and run outside. Grab something and run outside.
Right.
Police photos inside JP's house show Scott's holster on the kitchen floor, blood above it on the counter, and blood on the shelf where JP put his gun after the shooting.
I want explanations as to why there's blood in the house near a holster that belonged to the decedent.
Records have no mention of any testing to determine whose blood it was or any further exploration of Detective Dubois' theory.
There's video cameras in every room of this house and on the front of this house in a homicide, and that video evidence was never collected. These are mistakes.
It sounds like more than a mistake there. That is a huge red flag. Agree?
It's a red flag, and it's not, and there's no culpability.
Jamie's review of police records concluded JP changed his story 7 times, contradicting himself, the video surveillance detailed by Detective Dubois, the toxicology report, and the autopsy report. Jamie and Wade say those discrepancies likely could have been resolved if police had seized the video from JP's many cameras, but they never did. They kept asking for it, JP never gave it up, and forensics teams from other police departments were unable to retrieve it from JP's phone. Here again is Detective Wybrew's body camera footage from that visit with JP nearly 2 months after the shooting.
If you get it, just email it to me. Great. If you can't, here's the deal: is I figured, at this time, for the amount of time it took for us to get.
We don't ask people if it's okay to collect evidence. As police officers, we get the evidence. That's part of a crime.
Ultimately, based on the case presented by Boulder City Police, District Attorney Steve Wolfson did not charge J.P. Morgan with any crime. Wolfson told me he also met twice with the family and CCATs and found insufficient evidence to move forward with a criminal case. But he said, as with any case, his office will take another look if it comes to him again through Boulder City Police.
It's been years, and you have not let this go.
And I won't until justice is served.
They've continued pushing Boulder City Police to reopen the case, even providing new information from 2 other sources. In 2022, nearly a year after Scott was killed, a Boulder City woman sought a protection order against JP after a dispute between the two at the Horsemen's Association. In her TPO hearing, she told the judge that JP brags about getting away with what he'd done to some gentleman, saying he shot him and he knows how to cover it up. She said he talks about it freely around the association, so everybody is afraid. Also, last November, JP's ex-girlfriend, who moved out of state, filed this police report with her local department saying she wanted to get on record that JP killed someone in Boulder City and the killing was ruled self-defense, but she saw evidence that he intended to kill the other man and believes it was a murder, and she is afraid that she will be targeted because she's aware of this. Boulder City Police have declined to comment on the case, but here's what Deputy Chief Aaron Johnson told CCATS when the two met in October 2022 to discuss it.
Okay, now remember, this guy, JP, knows a bunch of officers, so they're buddies. Even though he's not a boy in blue, he's a buddy of the boy in blue. And that's the same thing because it's a good old boys club. Isn't it amazing? And these scumbags still run loose on the streets. And you people just applaud them for the job they do. Wow. Hope you guys sleep well at night.
What you do have here now is compelling information to sit there and go, cock your head a little bit and go, yeah, we missed this. This was missed. How did we miss this? I think there should be a second set of eyes on this. I think there always has a need for a second set of eyes, but I'm not quite sure that the second set of eyes shouldn't necessarily even be internal.
We're very hopeful that someday this will be picked up and there will be a thorough investigation done, and Steve Wolfson and his team will get an opportunity to look at real details of what happened and hopefully do something for Scott and his family.
Scott was still standing.
Because my brother was apparently still standing.
A few months ago, after Boulder City Police learned we were investigating, they reopened the homicide case, which is why they say they can't comment for this story. Through his attorney, J.P. Morgan also declined comment, citing the ongoing investigation. Records confirm police served a search warrant at J.P.'s home on April 15th of this year, and during the search, police found cocaine in plain view on a countertop in a bedroom, as well as a digital scale and numerous small baggies. Officers seized about 30 grams of cocaine and arrested J.P. Morgan for multiple felonies, including possession with intent to sell. He quickly bailed out of jail, and those charges are pending. Police also found multiple weapons in JP's home and are working to determine if any of them are illegal.
There's a saying, justice delayed is justice denied. Does that apply here?
It very well could.
The family feels that justice won't be served
We'll never stop fighting for my brother.
until there's accountability for all.
I want the person who committed this crime to be held accountable. I want the law enforcement officers that were aware of all this, or negligent, whatever you want to call it. They need to be held accountable as well.
I have a question. How many cops in Boulder City are buying coke from this clown? And if you say none of them, then you're an idiot and you don't know any better. Because everybody knows that the cops have the best drugs. They always have. And if you think that they're pure white as preacher sheets, I got news for you. They party good and they party hard. I grew up in a small town, and it's a joke.
Since Boulder City Police reopened the investigation, they learned of a new allegation that in the months after the shooting, a member of the department was leaking information to suspect J.P. Morgan. Based on that and everything we've exposed, the Dingman family is hoping the FBI will step in. The FBI told me they can neither confirm nor deny any action they may be taking. Ashley Dingman sued J.P. Morgan for the wrongful death of her husband and entered into a settlement agreement. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, man. You talk about dirty. Oh, my God. There's... abortion on top of abortion on top of abortion on top of abortion. Pick one. I mean, there's plenty of them there. It's amazing. And how it gets covered up. You know, just because he's a supplier for the cops. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, guys, remember, always film the police and your public officials because you can't trust them. Hello. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. Remember, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.